They say sometimes love is just a beautifully disguised trap, and by the time you realize you're caught, the damage is already done. That's what happened to me. I thought I had everything: love, success, the dream girl who got away and came back, but all I was to her was a stepping stone, a name on her way to something shinier. If I'd listened to my gut instead of my heart, maybe I would have seen it. But back then, all I saw was her smile. My name's Jake Thompson, and this is the story of how a high school crush turned into the most expensive mistake of my life. Back in junior year, I was the classic overachiever, quiet, straight-A student, a nobody in the social food chain. And then there was Chelsea Monroe, captain of the cheer squad, golden-haired, radiant, every guy's fantasy and every girl's envy. She dated the bad boy of our school, Travis King, leather jackets, loud cars, and a devil-may-care attitude that made teachers groan and girls swoon. One day, I gathered the courage to ask Chelsea out. My hands were shaking. My voice cracked. And she didn't even blink before dropping a cold "not a chance" in front of half the cafeteria. The humiliation stuck with me longer than acne ever did. But life moved on, and so did I. I went to college out of state, juggled 2 part-time jobs while studying computer engineering, and skipped every party just to keep my GPA high. By the time I turned 27, I wasn't the nerdy kid anymore. I was a rising star at a tech firm, owned a skyline view condo in downtown Chicago, drove a sleek electric coupe, and had enough frequent flyer miles to circle the planet twice. So when the invite for my 10-year high school reunion landed in my inbox, my first instinct was to delete it. Who needs to relive those awkward memories? But something in me, maybe curiosity, maybe the urge to show them what I'd become, made me click attend. The night of the reunion, I walked into that rented hotel ballroom in a navy Hugo Boss suit, no loud colors, just understated elegance. That's when I saw her, Chelsea. She was across the room, drink in hand, surrounded by a few old classmates. When her eyes met mine, she did a double take, like something out of a rom-com. "Jake Thompson," she asked, her voice all honey and surprise. Her eyes flicked up and down, taking me in. "Wow, you clean up good." We talked. And laughed. And just like that, we were swapping numbers between dessert and the goodbye hugs. The next morning, she called. No games, no waiting period. She asked me to brunch. And like an idiot reliving a fantasy, I said yes. Things escalated fast. Within months, we were practically inseparable. Dinners out, spontaneous trips, lazy Sundays spent in each other's arms. The girl who once crushed my heart was suddenly sleeping in my bed, whispering about futures and forever. 6 months after rekindling, we got married at a lakeside resort, string quartet, white rose petals, all of it pulled straight from Pinterest dreams. My mom warned me it was too soon. I didn't listen. I had the girl I'd always wanted. I didn't care how I got her. In the beginning, married life was bliss. I took Chelsea to Italy, Thailand, the Maldives. She loved the luxury, soaked in every moment like it was crafted just for her. And I didn't mind. I was making enough to spoil her. That was the dream, right? But slowly, cracks formed. She began complaining about her job, how toxic her boss was, how the office drained her spirit. I wanted to be the hero, so I told her to quit. "I've got us covered," I said, puffing my chest. She didn't hesitate. Her resignation email was sent by the time my coffee was brewed. Suddenly, Chelsea's days were full of morning yoga, spa appointments, and brunches that stretched into wine-fueled afternoons. I barely saw her before dinner. I told myself she needed time to rediscover herself. But deep down, something started to feel off. Then came my 3-week work trip: London, Singapore, Tokyo. We FaceTimed often at first. But then her excuses started. Too tired, busy with the girls, phone died. I chalked it up to time zones and stress. But when I finally came home, she barely looked up from her tablet to greet me. No running hug, no kiss that lingered. Just a half-hearted "Hey, welcome home." Like I was an Amazon delivery, not her husband. The weeks after were no better. She was out more than in. Her best friend, MIA, had apparently also quit her job, and they were in a self-care phase. Chelsea laughed more on the phone with MIA than she did with me. Then, Everything changed on a Tuesday. I had a client lunch at a fancy steakhouse downtown. Everything went wrong that morning. I forgot documents, spilled coffee on my tie, got stuck in traffic. While stewing at a red light, I glanced across the street, and there she was. Chelsea. On the arm of a man. They were laughing, close. Too close. The man's hand was resting low on her back, fingers far too familiar with the terrain. I blinked, hoping I was seeing wrong. But as traffic crawled forward, I watched them walk into the exact restaurant I was heading to. I slipped in quietly, praying they wouldn't notice me. Luckily, my company's table was tucked in the back. But from my seat, I had a clear line of sight to Chelsea's booth. She was sitting across from none other than Travis King, yes, that Travis. The leather-jacketed jerk from high school. They weren't talking like old friends. She leaned into him. He brushed her thigh. I clenched my fists so hard my nails bit skin. But I said nothing. My boss sat 3 feet from me, and we had $1 million pitch on the table. I finished that lunch smiling through fire. By the time I got home, I was done pretending. I grabbed Chelsea's designer bags, her expensive heels, her boutique perfumes, and stuffed them into trash bags. Dumped everything in the alley. Then I locked the condo door behind me. An hour later, she tried to come in. "Babe," she called sweetly through the door. I opened it just enough to look her in the eye. "You don't live here anymore," I said. "If you hurry, you might still catch your clothes before someone else does." At first, she laughed. Thought it was a joke. But when the door slammed in her face, reality hit. She screamed, pounded, cried. I put on noise-canceling headphones and called my lawyer. Thanks to the prenup my mother insisted on, the divorce was clean and fast. She left with what she came in with, nothing. No condo, no car, no cash. Just a garbage bag of regrets. She never apologized. I don't think she ever believed she did anything wrong. She bounced back to Travis for a while, but that didn't last. Word is, she's dating richer guys now. Always hunting. Like a shark that doesn't stop moving. As for me, I bought a cabin by the lake. I fish. I read. I drink good bourbon in peace. Friends tried setting me up, but I politely decline. I've learned 2 things. 1, your childhood fantasy is rarely marriage material. And 2, a prenup is the most romantic thing you can do for your future self.